Hi there, and welcome to another episode of the Silver Screen Show. Thanks for joining us on this absolutely freezing cold night.
Oh my God.
Joined by, as usual, by Alenya. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I really couldn't be bothered to come into that. I'm like, oh, it's just...
it's so cold.
I'm just going to stay at home, but professionalism kicked in.
At least it did for someone.
Unlike someone who's missed out again.
I even watched Shape of Water this week, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna talk to Mo about it.
He's now Wasteman Mo, by the way. And he has
Once again.
Yep, second time in a row. Like 1 hour left. He's like, oh, I can't make it. I'm like, thanks for telling us on the train, man. So
this is gonna be happening for the next half an hour.
Yep.
Just so you know.
So that ran out of the way. Let's just get cracking. So first up, we've got quite a few films today. We got When You First Met, Netflix, Padmavat, a Bollywood movie. Whoa! So first time I've ever read one of those, and Black Panther. But we'll leave that one till the end because that's the big one.
Yeah, that's the one that we're going to run on for.
Exactly.
For a while.
Right. So let's kick off with When You First Met. I don't really know much about this. I'm going to throw it all over to you. So what's it about?
Well, it's a Netflix original, so they're pumping these out like no one's business right now.
They don't seem to be the best right now. But
Yeah, I mean, it hasn't actually got great reviews. It's got about 36% on Rotten Tomatoes, but the story is, it is...
Great start to the review.
Great start. Classic, boy meets girl, boy misses his chance with girl, girl ends up marrying some other guy.
Damn it.
So boy decides to go back in time and change what happened between him and the girl.
That's a great use of a time machine, to be honest.
I mean, it's the most useless way of using a time machine.
Opportunity to go back in time. What should I do? That one time I didn't. I was like, oh,
yeah. So, but like they meet at like a party, and then I think he thinks he left it too long. So when he finally goes in for the kiss, she gives him a hug.
Ooh,
I know, and then he gets like really drunk at the like engagement party, and then ends up the photo booth that they had on the first night that they met. He goes in there. Turns out it's a time travel machine.
So it's not a hot tub this time. It's
no, it's not a hot tub, and it's got a very much like the Zoltan thing and big. It's the very much a similar design to that. It's got Adam Devine from Pitch Perfect, and I think like The Office.
Yeah, I was going to ask, so who's in it? So
so Adam Devine, he was great as Bumper in Pitch Perfect.
He's in Office.
I think he's in like an American show.
Okay, doesn't ring a bell to me, but carry on.
And Alexandra Daddario, she was in Summer in Baywatch.
Yep.
And Robbie Amell is the other male interest. He was in like The Duff, and he is also in The Flash, the TV series. Like not huge people, but they all play their characters very well.
Doesn't seem like it's going to be a big budget movie anyway.
It's not. So. I mean, he keeps going back. He goes back multiple times. He tries.
Okay.
He tries to use his previous knowledge to try and get.
Is it like is it Happy Death Day? Like they repeat the same scenario.
It's a little bit like that actually. So yeah, you see the same meet several times.
Yeah. Okay.
And he tries to use his previous knowledge of her to try and get with her, and then they're like,
Definitely.
"Oh my God, he's a stalker!"
Oh,
and beat the hell out of him with a plant pot. And then in the next one, he's like moves the plant pot away because he knows that that's not good. And he tries all these different things, and finally comes to the conclusion: you know what? I wasn't meant to be with her. And it's
only took a few times.
It took several attempts, and it's one of those things where I was thinking, I'm not a massive fan of the whole like
rom-com
genre. I'm not a fan of the rom-com thing. I'm also not a fan of the like deeper meanings to films sometimes.
Okay.
But the thing that I got from this was no matter what you think, no matter what you try and do to change it, fate, God, universe, whatever you believe in, Destiny. It gets it right the first time, and you should just go with it. You should take the punches because ultimately it will work out for you, and it does work out in the end.
Time machine notwithstanding.
Yeah. So if you get a time machine, don't be tempted to use it for your own game.
So what's not to like about it? I mean, because it's at 36%. I wouldn't say it's the perfect.
No, I mean it's not a fantastic film. It's not big, like you say. It's not big budget. It's just it's one of those Netflix things where like they've been giving an idea and go, yep, green light. Yeah. And it's just silly.
Fair.
It's not that it's got bad performances. It's not that it's a bad storyline. It's just a guy goes back in time to try and get with a girl. So it's really simple. It's basic as hell.
It's A to B, so I mean.
Yeah, it's got some good gags in it.
I'm assuming it's just not anything too original, hence why.
You know what? It's easy watching. Like I watched it. I think it was like last weekend or. and I was just feeling a bit ill, and I was like, oh, what am I going to watch? Like, I've watched too much Friends on Netflix already.
Netflix are churning out the movies now, so there's quite a lot on it now.
There's a lot.
So yeah.
There's a lot more. I'm thinking of maybe trying to watch like at least one per week and then bring it on here.
Yeah, I mean, it's a nice alternative to actually going out to cinema in this Arctic cold freezing.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm not going to stop mourning about the cold until the sun comes out. So, I mean, you're saying it's a comedy. So how is a comedy? There are parts of comedy to it. So how is that side to it? Is it funny? Do the jokes land, or is it just like your standard?
I mean,
like
they land actually. It's not like. It's not always cringy, you know. There's sometimes with rom-coms it can be really like,
or cringy like Baywatch. I mean, that was cringe.
I mean, we have different. Baywatch. I watched it again the other week, and I just love it because it is so stupid. Because it rips into itself, and this one kind of does as well with just kind of the new age millennial jokes.
Yeah,
things like that.
That millennial jokes are the way up. Spider-Man was full of millennial jokes and that stuff.
All the
social
films
media.
at the moment is full of millennial, like Happy Death Day, stuff like this. And yeah, like I say, it's just easy watching. You don't have to really think deeply about it. I mean, I did a little bit, but...
so I wouldn't think about too much behind the time travel logic then, like...
No, exactly.
How does that work anyway? Like, why does this photo brief... Did they explain that, or is it just like...
No, it was just like he put some quarters in the machine, and then he was there and he was drunk and he was just mumbling like, oh, I wish I could go back. And
you sure it wasn't like... You sure the guy just wasn't high or something while he was using it and he just thought he went back in time?
No, I don't think there's enough alcohol in the world to make that happen.
So they never really explained why is it. It's just it is.
I mean, like I'm going to go back to the whole big idea when he's like using the Zoltar thing. Zoltan, I can't remember. And he's just going, oh, I wish I was big. And then all of a sudden there's a flash of light and he's big.
Just accept it.
Exactly. Just accept it and move on. That's the premise, and I'm going to go with it. I'm going to say it's easy watching, it's good, it's funny. Just don't expect too much.
I was going to say that pretty much sums it up then. No need to cut to the final review then. So yeah, go ahead, and if you're looking for a nice, easy rom-com to watch, and don't really want to think about the scientific logics behind time travel and wouldn't be bothered by it.
It's pretty feel good as well because he wanted to end up with her, but he didn't. But he ended up happy in the end anyway. So
that's a good message.
It's a good message. Yeah.
All right, cool. So that's one down.
One down.
Moving on. Yes. So this is I think the second Bollywood review since I think Paramount did one years ago.
Right when correspondent left.
Bollywood correspondent. Right. So this is Padmavat. So this is a movie that's got a mainstream release actually over in England. Hence why I thought let me go check it out. My friend was really keen, and I thought I need someone else to watch it with. So I'm like, fine, I'll go.
A lot of people were talking about this.
Yeah, we went to Stratford actually to watch it. It's actually sold out. I think that's the first time in my life that I've actually gone to the cinema. I felt like a bit of a...
There was a queue when I went to watch... I went to watch Black Panther and there was a queue for Padmavat.
Yeah, I was thinking, that's never happened to me before. Like, ever had to book in advance and, And we didn't watch it, so I watched it that whole day.
Yeah.
But yeah, so this is a film. It's actually one of the biggest... It is the biggest Hindi movie ever made. Wow. I mean, financially. I mean, US-wise, it's not that big. It works at about $35 million, which sounds a bit small here. But for back there, it's the biggest. So this is a story of, it goes set in medieval times, what's it called, 1303 AD. So it's set back in the days.
Wow.
Yeah, so this is based on a poem called Padmavat, which is about Queen Padmavat, who is a very majestic, beautiful queen who believes in justice and honor. And so she gets married to the king of Rajput. He's essentially the good guy, to keep it simple. And his rival, which is Alauddin, which is like the king of the Mongols. So he's another army. He's played by Ranveer Singh. So he is like the evil guy. So, so set it all up, make it easy for you to understand. You got one king who's a good king, the king of Rajput, and then you got Alauddin, who's like the crazy guy. And then you got the queen. So Alauddin goes, you know what, I've heard stories about your queen. She is majestic. I want her. Pretty much, he's like, I need that.
That's how this works.
Yeah. So he's literally like, you know what? I've heard stories about her. She will be perfect as my queen. And he sets out thinking, I'm gonna now take her. So the cast is Deepika. She is the main star here. She plays Queen Padmavat. These names probably mean nothing to you.
No, but probably she was in like.
She was in Triple X.
Triple X.
Return of Xander.
Yeah.
what a garbage movie.
Sounded
So Shahid Kapoor plays the King of Rajput, which is Rantan Singh, and Ranveer Singh? Yeah, Ranveer Singh plays Aladdin, and he is like some Jason Momoa looking guy actually.
Oh really?
He's massive.
Now I'm interested.
He's massive, ripped, got long hair. I'm like, this guy got a really good Jason Momoa kind of vibe to him. So that aside, you know what? I don't watch many Bollywood movies, but going into this, I'm like, you know what? I was impressed. I mean, it's quite an epic. It's very Game of Thrones like. So massive sword fights. You have a lot of politics. You've got the love angle. And it's very well done. You've got huge armies, huge set pieces. You can see definitely why this is like a massively financially backed movie. There isn't much song and dance to it. There are a few, obviously.
I was going to ask. I mean,
yes.
It's a Bollywood movie. That has to be music in it.
But
How was it?
I mean, there are song and dance, of course,
Yeah.
but it's not overly done. It's only 2 or 3 scenes.
Maybe catering to the wider audience.
Yeah, I mean, the way it's going to have a global release, so we can't really fill it up. And also, it doesn't really fit the mood of the film. The film is set in the medieval days. There's a lot of violence and brutal murder, you know, so you can't fill it rampacked. It's not your typical love story.
Yeah.
I loved Ranveer Singh as Aladdin. He is a jerk in this movie, but he does it in such a good way. Such an arrogant guy. You hate him. But at the same time, you're like, you know what? He is such a good warrior. Like, end of the day, he's a warrior king, isn't he? So he's ruthless, and you hate him, but at the same time, he pretty much carries the movie. I mean, Shahid Kapoor he's the good guy, and he actually does really well. You know what? I'm rooting for this guy. Hopefully, he does win in the end, but he's just too nice.
Is he kind of eclipsed by?
Yeah, because he's very cookie cutter. You get me? Like, he plays by the law. He goes honor. Like, that's all fair, but the other guy just so much more fun. Okay. And every scene he's in, you're like, you know what? I want to see what this guy gets up because he's mental. And he'll get shot. He'll love it. He'll start laughing. You know. I mean, there's one scene where. So they set out siege outside the palace, saying, you know what, until you come out and confront me, we're just going to sit out here. And then they shoot arrows at him, like, in the middle of the night. And he's just sleeping, like, you know what, shoot arrows at me, waking me up in the morning. So it's just mental like that. So, I mean...
go on to bad things about it?
Bad things.
I
mean, this is going to be probably running through in Bollywood movie. It's just too long. It's 2 hours 40 or something like that. I'm like,
what?
Oh. I mean, it does really drag on. The pacing is really bad. And that's the one thing I can say. The storyline's really good, actually. It kept me engaged because you got the whole dynamic, you know, evil guy, bad guy, like, I want your wife. He's like, no, you can't have my wife. He sounds a bit petty, but he's so determined to see this queen. He just makes it really, really good. So you got that side of things, but it just takes forever. Sometimes movie just slows down to a halt, and you're like, you could really cut this all out because you don't need it. 2.5 hours. But like I said, running time in these movies is
always long.
It's always long, yes. I think if you are someone seeing this movie for the first time, like a Bollywood film, be prepared because it does just like, come on.
Well, my friend at work went to see it with her mum. She was like, I've got to take my mum to see
of course,
this. And she absolutely loved it. And she was like, the songs were great. You know,
the presentations were great. I mean, the music is great. The fight scenes, the CGI is actually really well done.
Okay.
I mean,
it's not comical.
It's not the best, but you know, for the type of movie it is, you know, you're like, you know what, that's good. I don't mind it. Yeah, but you know,
props to you guys.
Exactly. I mean, the runtime is a bit of a headache, and I also think another thing that I didn't know was like the queen. So she's at the beginning of the movie. She's like in the forest, like shooting arrows and stuff.
Yeah.
So she's like a kind of like a
warrior.
Yeah, she's not just the queen who's going to be out. She's got a bit of feistiness to her, a bit of action, but they never really show any of that later on in the movie. So once all the action kicks in, all the murder, the death, she's still like, she's brave. Like, she's got her own way of being savvy. Like, she knows she's got smarts. She does put herself in danger, but I thought maybe they'll tease a bit of her action because, you know, they show her using a bow and stuff. So it's like, okay, maybe she might get involved. Nope, she stays a bit behind the scenes, but that's just something.
What's your roundup of it then?
My roundup is dazzling, but just too long.
Too long.
Yeah,
you're gonna go on about that.
I mean, if a movie's gonna be 3 hours long, it's got to be like Dark Knight level.
You know who else is long?
What?
Mo.
Wasteman Mo, man. I can't believe it's second time, man.
Got to bring it up every single time.
Takes us 6 o'clock saying I can't make it. I'm like, are you joking? You should be halfway here, like. But yeah, so right, that's 2 down.
Last one.
Yeah, Bollywood movie. I'm not actually. No, I'm into it now. You know what?
You're going to be our new Bollywood.
I'm gonna have to, unless our old one decides to make a dramatic return. Yeah.
Second dig of the night.
Though, you know, this is a bit of a change of scenery to me. It's not your typical rom-com. It's very, like I said, it's Game of Thrones like action. It's swords, horses, politics, backstabbing, love. So it's got it all. So yeah, if you want to change the scene from the usual Bollywood thing, you've got 3 hours to kill.
I mean, the closest thing to a Bollywood movie I've ever watched was that what was it? It was like the Pride and Prejudice one, but
Bride and Prejudice.
Bride and Prejudice, that was it. That's the closest thing I've ever seen to a Bollywood movie.
But that was ages ago, wasn't it?
That was a long time ago now.
But cool. So moving on, this is now for the, let's say the
big one.
The big one, yeah. Hence why it's at the end. So Black Panther. This is the latest. I mean, I don't really have to say much about it, but it's I think it's the 18th now edition to the MCU. So
in the now 10 years since Iron Man.
I know. So they are kicking off the 10-year celebration. So
that was great. I loved it.
That photo was great.
That photo was great. I know the pictures of like everyone sort of fangirling at all the other people.
Yeah, like spotting like
Robert Downey Jr. being like, I'm sat at the front in the middle. How did this happen? And then there's Tom Holland standing next to, I think it's like Chris Pratt. Like,
there's just so
like you do all realise you're in a movie together. Right? It's coming out this year.
Right. So 10 years. This is the, you know what, Black Panther has done amazingly in the box office. It's already destroyed Justice League. Justice League. I mean, you've been destroyed in 4 days.
It has come to the point where it's kind of like beating a dead horse, taking the piss out of DCEU, but we've still got to do it. 4 days it took them to make more than Justice League, and it doubled. It was a 200 million budget. It doubled it in less than a week. So.
Right. So let's kick off. Black Panther, directed by Ryan Coogler, who also directed Creed, starring Chadwick Boseman, Michael B. Jordan, Lupita Nyong'o, and Angela Bassett, Martin Freeman, Andy Serkis.
Oh my gosh.
It's just top-loaded with talent. So
Forrest Whitaker.
Yeah, Forrest Whitaker. There's just too many.
There's so many names in this.
But,
it's amazing.
Right, let's kick in. Overall, I loved it. But there are a few flaws. But let's talk about the good things. Let's
start.
Yeah, I'm going to say it's just an explosion of culture. I mean,
it really is.
I mean, to get this out of the way, you cannot underestimate the fact, the cast, what a big deal this is. People do say, oh, they're playing a bit up, a bit too much. But to see a film which is pretty much all ethnic, you know, lead a blockbuster movie to, you know, financial success. I mean, it's the first time this has been done, so you can't really take away that fact as...
Yeah, and one of my friends at work, he was saying that, you know, having such a huge representation of African culture on such a huge platform is fantastic.
Yeah, I mean,
and it's something that you can't take anything away.
Exactly. I mean, it's a huge gamble, and it's actually worked pretty well.
And as a woman, I'm going to bring this to the table.
A lot of strong women.
Amazing strong women there.
Yeah.
The fact that also they mentioned Grace Jones right at the beginning, I thought that was great.
Yeah, nice. That was a nice nod.
A nice little Easter egg for people. Danae Guerrero was the fiercest woman I have ever seen in my life. She played Okoye.
She's the general.
The general.
Yeah.
And she was insane. She was like one of the best fighters on the screen.
You know what? You know, when she dropped in the Civil War trailer, I was like, not Civil War, Infinity War, I'm like, why is she... But now I'm like, oh, damn.
And like, she deserves it.
Really
like, her at the end was insane. And Letitia Wright, she was funny as hell. She plays Shuri, the little sister.
She's got back. What are those?
She's the embodiment of like the young generation at the moment.
Oh, yeah. When her and Peter Parker meet,
oh my God, that's going to be amazing.
It's going to be amazing.
That's going to be so much fun. Lupita is like the bleeding heart of the whole thing. She's like, we should be doing more. And like, this film is such a mirror, a reflection of the world at the moment. It really
does. I mean, I was going to say the storyline here. I mean, yes, your generic Marvel DNA, the jokes, you know, the set pieces.
The big action scenes.
But the storyline here actually really does hit people that other movies haven't. Such as I said, just, you know, is it right for countries to isolate themselves when they could help others?
Yeah.
I mean, when you see your own people getting discriminated and prejudiced against, you know, is it right to just stay in the shadows and not be ignorant?
It is definitely a reflection of what we're seeing in the world at the moment. And it's when Chadwick Boseman comes out and does some of his speeches, like the one in the UN, it's the leader that you want right now in the real world. And you're like, this is fictional, this is a film, this is written by Ryan Coogler and all the guys at Marvel, and it's and then the comic and everything. But he is the leader that I really want at the moment. You want someone like T'Challa to be standing up there and saying those words, but it's a film, and that breaks my heart.
It's like storyline. I was not really expecting this level of gravitas, to be honest.
Yeah, exactly.
And it talks about, the other part is like, if you see your people being brutalized and suppressed around the world, who are we, to judge? We should be out there, not. So I think bringing onto that is Killmonger by Michael B. Jordan. He was amazing. I mean,
fantastic.
He's probably the best villain I've seen since Loki. And even Loki's getting a bit stale now, but this guy is like, wow.
Yeah.
I mean,
my friend was saying he's read the comics of quite a few of the comics of Black Panther, and he was saying whereas like Chadwick Boseman doesn't quite live up to the arrogance and the confidence of Black Panther, but Michael B. Jordan as Killmonger is just insane.
I mean, it's important to have a villain who you empathise with and can see why they are what they're doing.
Yeah,
and
he points out the hypocrisy of what they're doing.
We've got previous villains like the one Ronin from Guardians of the Galaxy, Malekith. These guys like we're just evil because we're evil. Like we don't care. Like
just because.
Yeah, like
because we want to.
Yeah, exactly. Whereas here, Killmonger, like he is like, I've seen what's happening to our people, and it's not right. We should be out there. I mean, obviously the methods he takes are very psychotic, but he needs to have that psycho tendency to be a villain. Yeah. But it's also important for us to know why he's taking what he does and why he believes what he is. Right or wrong, at least we can see where he's coming from rather than just being, I just want to be king of Wakanda for no reason.
But he wants to be king of Wakanda
for a reason.
Because he thinks, but then, it's funny because he points out the hypocrisy of their beliefs and how, they're like, Africans have been shipped all over the world and discriminated and hated and killed and murdered, and he's saying, that was bad, therefore we should go out and we should kill and we should murder people. So he misses the hypocrisy in his own actions.
Hence why, he's got to have that flaw in him anyway to be a psychotic villain.
Well, yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's what makes him so psychotic.
I mean, there was a plot twist in there, which I don't reveal, which explains why he's connected into it, which I think was a bit, I didn't really like that. I think it's a bit rushed or just a bit out of nowhere.
Okay, yeah.
You know what twist I'm talking about, the one that shows why he's connected to everything with the royal family. I'm like, this is a bit, that could have been done a bit better. But nothing like it's just stylish.
It's one of those necessary.
Yeah, just to move it along. Twists. Yeah.
But I think the best thing about this movie was the cast.
Yeah,
they were the best.
Daniel Kaluuya, can't forget him.
Yeah, exactly. He won a BAFTA this week as well.
And the guy who plays M'Baka, the mountain tribe leader. Winston Duke.
Winston Duke.
Oh my God, he's hilarious as well.
He was so funny.
Like, we're gonna eat your children. No, we're not. We're vegetarian. It's just like, the way he says it. It's like the way he says it.
No.
Like the cast, carries it. There's talent.
This is the best representation of black and female actors as well. I'm going to harp on about this. This was great. And the line, this.
And like his royal guard are all women as well.
Exactly.
So
they're all
really
big warrior women, and they were amazing.
And purely from a cosmetic point of view, it's such a stylish movie.
It's so beautiful.
It's so glossy. Just everything's well done.
All of the costume design as well.
There's a lot of effort into it. I was reading about the cultural reference behind all of them. And just Ryan Coogler's done great. The scene where a certain character, like the scene where they're coming to film and the camera's upside down and it moves.
Yes.
That was really well done. Just things like that just make the film look so much more.
The little dig at his sandals.
What are those?
And then he's like, they love tradition.
Yeah, I'm a dad now. It's just like...
And it's good because it is that reminder, like the younger generation does come in and they do try and keep the culture alive and the traditions alive. Yeah. And then someone comes in and goes, nope, all of it dead. And also, the fight scenes I thought were very, very good. They actually learn... The
Korea set piece is great. I love the Korea.
Yeah, they actually learn a lot of different styles of martial arts. They used...
It's like in what fights? Like is this in general? Like in the fight?
In general, for the film, the cast learned a variety of martial arts. They learned Danbei boxing, Senegalese wrestling, Zulu stick fighting, Muay Thai, and Salat, which is native to Malaysia, Singapore,
that's the raid. Don't worry, I'm aware of that.
Yeah. So they learn like a combination of all of those to do all of the fight scenes, starting the big fight scene at the end with the two armies. It's fantastic.
And the rhino. She just
oh my God, that was the strongest part of the movie. And she's like, bam.
Yeah,
you ain't going past me.
Yeah, I think Definitely, I mean,
she was my favorite.
And the fact Infinity War looks like something set most in Wakanda as well.
Yeah.
It's just sets everything up. This film is perfect for the run up to. Yeah. It's just got me even more hyped now. Yeah. If it was even possible to like.
I mean, and we do have to mention Andy Serkis and Martin Freeman. They did good too.
Yeah, I mean, Martin Freeman got a lot more time than I thought. But
I didn't expect that.
With Andy Serkis, it does bring me on to one of the downsides of the movie. It's not the perfect movie, to be honest.
Okay,
so
yeah, we're going to go into we're not taking anything away from the impact,
but
there are but there are points that we need to get out.
We'll try and keep it as spoiler-free as possible. But Andy Serkis was very much underused here.
Yes,
he's maniacal.
And
I would love to see a lot more of him. But
have you seen the meme where it's like Martin Freeman and Andy Serkis having a face-off in the film?
Yeah.
And then what Lord of the Rings fans see, and it's Bilbo and Gollum. So I was like, yes.
I would love to see a lot more of him because he was amazing as well.
He's fantastic.
But his kind of character does get his arc done. So because his character was in since Age of Ultron, I think.
Yeah.
So he's got a nice arc, and they kind of follow through with that. So you kind of see.
Yeah. But he was a necessary evil to bring Daniel Kaluuya's character a bit more into.
It's just I would love to see a lot more because he was just so great. Another thing, the CGI is very noticeably a bit okay. I can see. It's not the best. I mean, for 200 million, you can see that. Yeah, there is a lot of it. And like the scenes where he's coming out the water and sees the mountain, you can just see there's duplicate people onto it and stuff. And it's like, I mean, obviously for the budget, but he's not small.
The ships are cool though.
Yeah, and like the final fight scene is very underwhelming.
I agreed with that, but that comes into my bad point. My main bad point about it is the pacing, where like I like a bit of variation. I like something hard hitting, and then I want a respite. I want something really emotional, and then something a bit pulled back, and then a big hard hitting end scene. But you didn't have that. You had everything happening all up here.
I think where they could have really improved the movie is when Killmonger and Black Panther they meet, like in Wakanda. They could have really drawn that a bit more to build up a bit more tension.
Exactly.
Because he literally comes in, he does his thing, then they move on to the next part of the story. Where kind of like I wanted to boil on a bit, bubble on, you know. Because the first part of the movie could have been trimmed a lot more, like the whole Korea side detour. It was fun.
It was fun.
But they could have cut like 10 minutes out of that and use that to build up the hatred between the two.
They could have made that fight scene a bit shorter, and that would have made the impact of the later scenes a bit
to be honest, I prefer their first battle on the waterfall than compared to the final one they have, which is just CGI generic. Like, it's in the dark, there's punching. It's like what's
and then like the sister trying to get involved with the like.
That was cool. They
were cool, and it was good that she was getting involved. But it was kind of.
This should be between like the two leading. What do I have? I was really disappointed by the fact Black Panther does really seem like a supporting character in his own movie. Because really in Civil War, he's just a badass. He's just like, my name's Clint, I don't care, bang. He's just like taking note.
I'm here because this guy killed my father.
Yeah, he's
like, he's so powerful in that film.
And he's just driven. He's just like,
he's pulled back a little bit.
Very, because he gets his ass kicked a lot. And this is straight after Civil War, so it's not like there's been a bit of time. Yeah, this is the exact same guy. This literally the same guy was just driven by rage. I can understand the rage and anger side is not there. Yeah. But he's still very much like Killmonger is so much more interesting in this movie than Black Panther. And I kind of feel he does get reduced to the butt of the joke a few times. I'm kind of like, come on, man, this is the same guy who was just kicking ass in the last movie, literally a day or two ago, and now he's just been reduced to comic relief at most of the scenes. Which
I felt actually it was over too quickly when it finished. I was like, oh, is that it? And then everyone left, and I was like, wait, where are you going?
Noobs.
It was funny because everyone who was sat in the middle of the cinema were the people who knew. Yeah. And all the people sat on the edges.
The second end credit scene is worth the wait, so...
Yes, definitely. If you haven't seen it yet, wait until all the way through the end of the credits. It's definitely worth it.
The second one's really great.
But yeah, my main thing is just I wish that there was a bit of a respite, a bit of a false sense of security, a little bit of a relax, and then power with the end scene. I think
my takeaway from Black Panther is the fact his character was such a different kind from the usual typecast Marvel hero. So his introduction to Civil War was just a fresh breath of fresh air, and to see him they kind of reverted it slowly back to like Star-Lord kind of gimmicky, bantery kind of character. Like I thought.
Well, that's how I felt about Thor.
Yeah, I mean, but Thor's change was there for a while though. Like
I guess it was.
Whereas this is literally a character from literally a few days ago, who was just like just tearing down, chasing Bucky on the road. Like saying, "I'm gonna beat you up because I hate you." Whereas now he's just like, oh, people cussing my shoes. I mean, it was nice, I'm not dead, but it's kind of like a bit of a change from who he really was in our film. I would kind of like him still retain a bit of his aura.
Gravitas.
Yeah, whereas like, because Killmonger beats him up, everyone beats him up, like, I would have liked him to be a bit more...
Another thing was like when after Michael B. Jordan and
does his
thing, there's no gab, there's no like, what should I do next?
Like, just
it's
jump
literally
straight
just like pow, 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 pow. And there's no time for you to kind of catch up and go, oh, okay, we're going this way now. I just think it was way too quick.
Yeah, I think overall it's a great film, but there are a few tweaks that I would have done to make it better. Because I mean, if I compare it to the last film, Thor Ragnarok, I think 4 just about edges it out just because of its consistency. And I think just the characters are just, like 4 he's center of that movie, whereas here, T'Chaka...
He's a bit of a support.
Yeah, the other characters are bouncing off him really strongly, to be honest. I mean, his sister's amazing, they're all bouncing off him, rather than him being that. He seems more of like I said...
Yeah, he's like bouncing between them. You've got like Denai, who's like this really powerful general, and then you've got his sister, who's like cute and quirky and funny, and then you've got Killmonger, who's this insane, like anti-character.
Yeah.
And he just
seems a bit,
he's overshadowed.
He really is, Hopefully, he comes back in Infinity War a bit more like he was in Civil War.
Yeah, I think so. I think he's seen from the trailers. It looks like he's a bit more like the whole like get this man.
Yeah, exactly. All of that stuff. That's how
like
it is.
Taking control. Like you are a king.
Yeah,
act like it.
To be honest, they did go into that aspect of him becoming a king and what it means, but it seems like that was literally 24 hours ago since Civil War. So it seems a bit quick for him to suddenly not know. Oh, who am I as a king? What do I stand for? Yeah. Whereas literally, like, he had no idea a couple of days ago. It was fine, but
actually, going on from that, I thought that the spiritual stuff was really interesting.
I did like the way Killmonger actually had an effect on Black Panther and what kind of king he wants to be, because all of that came from actually Michael B. Jordan's character. Yeah. His idea, like, his execution was a bit messed up, but his ideology,
finding out what he found out about King T'Chaka as well,
really changes him, and he accepts. You know what, Killmonger had an idea. I mean, it was good. The way he wanted to do it was wrong, but we shouldn't be how we were. We should evolve, and I think
the world has evolved.
Yeah, we should evolve too. But so
I really liked that when he first went into that sort of other plane, and all the other Black Panthers were Black Panthers. I thought it was very
like Lion King, like when Simba sees Mufasa,
so much like Lion King, so good.
But so let's wrap this up. I will say the Black Panther roars. Pretty cheesy, but it does roar. It's a great film, bar a few things, but just for the cast alone, the action, the style, the Marvel bants, and the way it connects into the huge battle coming up soon, it just hypes up even more.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with an actual score for the first time in ages.
Do we ever do scores?
I'm just gonna go a solid 8.
8, yeah, and it just gets me more excited for Infinity War.
It does.
It really, like, as soon as I watched this, I went back to the Infinity War trailer to notice all the Black Panther characters. And Bucker's in it. I'm like, what? He's in it?
Yeah.
Like all of these characters. Yeah.
The Eighth Man, I think is what it's actually.
Is it M'Baku or M'Baka?
M'Baku.
Yeah, M'Baku. Yeah, he's in it. I'm like, oh my God, he's in it. Like, just.
And Daniel Kaluuya.
Yeah.
Is Wakabi.
He's gonna get some repercussions for his actions, but
I hope so.
Yeah, I think.
But,
okay, awesome. So
I actually want to just say one thing.
You got 30 seconds.
With Martin Freeman,
yep.
I think there was an interview or someone asked him a question, and they asked him, what did it feel like to be the minority?
The Tolkien white guys, as they're saying.
I mean, it was just like in the cast, it's basically him and Andy Serkis of the main cast. And he was like, now I know how they feel when they're on set with us. And it reminded me of a film. It's a terrible film, but it's good in the respect it draws on the same issues, and it's Stepsisters on Netflix, and there's a similar thing. It's like this group of white girls go to a step competition full of like all black people. It's a very black cultural thing in America. And she says, you think you feel out of place? You feel like they're judging you before you've had a chance to express yourself? That is how they feel every single day. And it's just stuff like this coming out now more, and I think it's having a positive effect on people.
Yeah, the cultural significance of this movie cannot be understated.
Exactly, so
But
fantastic,
and it's also backed up, and it's a great film. So it's not just a political statement.
We're gonna release a really terrible film, but because it's got black people in it, we're gonna make a killing. They've really backed themselves up.
Yeah, great way to start the 10th year celebrations as well. So
yes, exactly.
Ant-Man's coming out soon as well. So
Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Yeah. Right. Awesome. So I think we've dragged on a bit.
We
dragged on. I mean, that's why we kept this one last because we knew we were going to go on a lot more.
Exactly.
But I hope you guys enjoyed the show, and I'll see you next week. Take care. Bye.